February 13th, 2016. It's the first ever All in the Reflexes. So I'm very excited, and I'm glad that you're joining us here tonight. So there are several reasons why I wanted to do this particular particular episode, I guess you would say. And I want to take you through a few of those. So to get started, I guess number one is, I think we've all seen a variety of podcasts and we've been influenced perhaps by those. And before I babble, this is the beauty of live, is I need to check that, we're live. Yeah, we're live. You just got to refresh the feed. So by the way, if you were just watching and you see nothing, I don't know if you'll get this message, you got to refresh your feed, okay? So again, how was that for the first couple minutes of a live show? That's why we're doing this, because anything can happen. I'm excited. So let's start from the top. Welcome to All in the Reflexes. I'm Joe Chianakas, and this is our first ever episode. And we're going to give away a prize tonight. I guess let me start with the fun stuff. I got a couple of prizes, and all you got to do to win the prize is comment. So you should be in the YouTube section. Just post a comment, and here's the question. From what movie did I take the line, All in the Reflexes? If you can post that and answer that successfully, you'll win a prize. Just guess it in the comments. So anyway, welcome. Before I get to my first guest, I want to talk to you a little bit why I'm doing this. I've been influenced by a whole lot of things, and you've probably seen people do podcasts and all sorts of vlogs before. I know for one thing, if you've ever searched, I got to see that VMA performance from last night, and then you end up getting someone talking about it instead of the actual performance. It's really ridiculous, and I don't want to become one of those people. What I want to do is take some time to talk about people in my community that I think are making a difference, and give them a shout out and talk about their lives. And we make all sorts of differences, whether it be with your friends and your family, or you've got a big endeavor, or you're writing a book, or you're part of a local band. There are all sorts of ways that we make a difference with one another. At Illinois Central College, where I work, we do a program called the One Book, One College program. And last year I came across, thanks to our library's program, something called StoryCorps. And it was this idea that you want to reach out. How cool is it to reach out to other people and ask, what's your story? Tell me about your life's passions, and record and document. So tonight, with that as kind of an influence, I'm going to bring someone out here fairly soon, and I want to hear a little about his story. I want to put it on the web. I want to record it so it's available, hopefully forever. And that's really what I want to do. But the one last thing I would say before moving forward is that there's a line I always tell my students, because I'm a teacher first. I teach communication. And one of the lines that always drives me crazy is that those who can't do, teach. And I never want to become that person. So I work really hard, as do all my wonderful colleagues out here, to not just be people who show up in a classroom, teach the 50-minute class and go home, but we're trying to do things outside of the classroom for our own personal reasons, or for our own creative reasons, or whatever it might be. And this is one of those little things that I want to do. So tonight, we're going to get to our guest here in just a second, but before we move forward, hopefully you see some other things on your screen. I'm going to show you, as I move around a little bit here, you can be a guest on the show, and I'll remind you this at the very end, but at the end, my website, joechianakas.com, I try to spell it out there for you so you remember that, and of course, facebook.com/Chianakas. Would love if you'd like and support the page, because this is where I'll be doing all the work from. But let me know if you want to be a guest. I've got an official form on my website. And we'll go from there. And then, of course, one of the prizes I'm going to give away is the book. Is a book here called Rabbit in Red. Got it hanging out over here behind me on my shelf. This is a horror adventure novel. I'm going to sign it for you, endorse it. I don't know, bleed on it for you if you want. Whatever you need. That's kind of gross, all right? There are a couple other people here in the background. So, all right, so don't ask me to bleed on it. That's the beauty of live. See, I can't go back and edit it. And that's the other thing we wanted to do, is other than unlike other podcasts and vlogs, we want to be live. So if I say something ridiculous, we just go with it. But I'll talk to you more about that later. Let's get to tonight's guest. All right. Let me introduce to you, and I'm going to switch images here. 20-year-old Ruben Ramirez is my guest tonight, and he's an Illinois Central College student. His major is criminal justice. And a couple of his dreams are to become an actor and to be a traveling motivational speaker. He already has done lots of events here in the Central Illinois community, speaking events about suicide and bullying. And he also, on top of all that, plays rugby, and coaches youth soccer and basketball. Let's bring them on. Ruben, come on there. All right. So I know the audience is giving an applause. The virtual audience out there, they're cheering. Thank you for coming and joining me and being my first guest. I met Ruben, it's been about a year. It was last fall. Ruben took Comp 212 with me, an advanced public speaking course. And since then has taken a couple of other classes and has actually attended. One of the pictures you see is him speaking in front of, that's East Peoria High School. And he spoke to students there when we did an event for Rabbit and Red for my book. But anyway, tonight we're going to talk a little bit about Ruben. So start off, tell me why criminal, you got a lot of different, I guess when I looked at your bio, you've got a lot of different things going on. Criminal justice, acting, motivational speaker. Talk about that. Like, why criminal justice? How does that fit into everything?
Well, criminal justice is definitely one of the growing careers at the moment. It's not really an easy career to get into mentally and physically, as well as it's very challenging. And if you meet the criteria to become a police officer and go on from there on, I feel like it's a very rewarding career. I feel like that bring food to the table, take care of my kids, have a place, get a shot at the American dream. That's what I really want.
So what's the number one dream job? You listed all these things. So you're sort of cop, actor, speaker. What's the number one dream?
To become an actor, actually. That'd be like my main squeeze to ever go through. If I ever had the opportunity to do such things, I would love to be in front of a big screen one day. But if God lets it be, then hopefully I'll get there one day.
Slasher movies? No, all right. All right. I was thinking, maybe I can find a connection. We'll get you in a horror film before things are over, right? That would be wonderful. So you talked a little bit about speaking about suicide and bullying. Those are obviously sensitive issues, but talk to me about, why they're important to you. Why do you go out there and talk to people about suicide or anti-bullying?
Okay, well, I feel like, honestly, I'm going to speak heart to heart with everyone at the moment. When it comes to bullying, schools don't go through it too much. They honestly believe that bullying is over with and there's no such thing as cyberbullying or any of the sorts, and that words don't really hurt. But to be honest, if you really think about it, bones will repair, scars, they will be there, but you'll be healed. But words, they stay with you. And words in the long run can really, really hurt somebody and push somebody to kill themselves one day. And that's one thing that I always try to cover is, at the same time, watch what you say to people. Because some people might take it as a joke, some people actually might take it to heart. And that's the thing that a lot of kids don't go over really much. They think that anything they say to somebody is not harmless. And honestly, it could be that last toothpick to break the bone and everything and to end it all. And then you hurt not only that person, but their family and their friends. And on top of that, you're going to live with that for the rest of your life. So I'm here in Central Illinois giving speeches around in this area to prevent that. I've done 2 memorials already for 2 kids that did commit suicide, and honestly, those it's very nerve-wracking when you get the call and like, hey, we want you to speak, and then when you ask, what's the event about? Well, this kid committed suicide. That is probably the worst, heart-wrenching thing that I always go through. But at the same time, I know that I'm there and I can help somebody out for that.
And I've seen, being Facebook friends, I've seen you post things about these events, and I've seen friends of yours get on there and say, thank you for speaking, that meant a lot to me. And that's part of the reason why I wanted to have you here, is because I know you're already out there trying to make a difference. And I think that's such a cool thing, and it's wonderful. And it's very true. I've always liked the saying, if you could, to give advice to someone, if you can forget the insults people have said to you, but remember the compliments, that's what you want to do. But we're human, and that's virtually impossible. It's the insults that we always remember, and the compliments, unfortunately, that we forget. Well, let's talk about some other things. So what makes you passionate about, so let's go into rugby, basketball, and soccer just a little bit. What makes you passionate about those things?
They all came at different points of life. I felt like I first started out as a basketball player. I had this big dream that one day I'd be in the NBA, and yeah, that got shot down when I saw the size of that. You must be at least 6 foot 10 million.
Can you see this really quick? So if we stood up, I'm actually just a little bit taller, and Ruben invited me to play basketball one day, and I was so excited because I'm like, he's shorter than me. He's actually really good, and it really annoyed me, but anyway.
Well, that's the aspect of it. When it comes to basketball, you need height. And then I tried soccer out. I liked soccer a lot. I was successful in there, but I wanted something more aggressive. I saw that every time I tapped the soccer player on the foot, he'd fly and do back flips and front flips and cry about it. So I wanted something more aggressive. I got forwarded to a football coach. I didn't like the helmet, and then when after that, I got forwarded to a rugby coach, and that became my passion ever since.
So you're coaching now. Tell us about what programs you're coaching and how that's going.
I'm coaching boys basketball at the Boys and Girls Club, and I coach soccer for the Pekin Park District. And a big reason that I do that is because I feel like I want one of my goals to be when I become a coach is to have our kids fall in love with the sport at a very young age. Sports can bring kids out of trouble. That can be a passion. It just teaches you a work ethic that nothing can really touch. Sports is a universal language, so no matter where you're at or where you play the sport, everyone knows what's happening. Um, that's why I wanted to be a coach, and I'm age range is very wide. I've coached 3 to 5 year olds. I've coached 13-year-olds now, 10 10 year olds. So it's very ranged, but I'm there to make sure that they fall in love with whatever sport I coach them in.
Cool. Guys, we're a live show, so every now and then I just want to take time to address those who are just tuning in. If you're just clicking on that live link, this is All in the Reflexes, Episode 1. We are live, 100%. It's crazy. That's part of the program here that I wanted to do, is not just do something to record and throw up later, but have a little fun with it. So the format of our show, what I'm going to try to do is we're going to have some meaningful discussion. The guests that I bring on, generally, I'm going to have them share something, maybe like a talent. You're going to see something extra special from Ruben here in just a moment. We're even going to talk a little bit about pop culture, try to share, make something happen there. And then we're going to end with kind of a silly game because we want to have some fun, some humor, some comedy in here too, and that's going to be a lot of fun. So we're talking to Ruben Ramirez. He's a 20-year-old college student at Illinois Central College. And he's already, at 20 years old, he's already coaching programs. He's already done motivational speeches, and it's just, this is what's really cool. And pretty soon, people are going to be able to see you on TV. Other than this, because you made a commercial for ICC, isn't that right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty fun working with ICC on that. I was very honored. I always wanted to be an ambassador for ICC when I first started out freshman year and got done my first semester. And I'm glad that I'm able to reach out and to my friends. I have a lot of senior friends who always ask me what makes ICC spontaneous, and then I watch the commercial, and you'll know why it's spontaneous.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. So again, if you're just tuning in, we also want to give away some prizes, and I think I only mentioned one earlier. But again, we want to thank you for whether there's one viewer or 10, it doesn't matter. We all start somewhere. I've got a book I want to give away. I'm going to sign it and autograph it. I got lucky to find a publisher last year, and but if that's regardless of how you feel about that, we also have a gift card I'm going to give you. It's a Subway gift card because you can't go wrong, I don't know, with free food and free cash. Here's how you get it. You got to make a comment. You got to post a guess, and if no one gets it right, we're just going to pick one random. The question is, where does the title of our little talk show here called All in the Reflexes come from? Where does it come from? All right, post that in the comments, and you could win one, both. We'll see how many of you there are. So let's do like a couple more serious questions, and I want to get to your performance. All right, but you're doing a lot of great stuff, and the question that I'm going to go deeper is, tell me, and again, hopefully being just a little spontaneous here live, is I want you to tell us something that you're really proud of. Maybe something you don't tell a lot of people, or maybe something you haven't told anybody. But I want you to tell me, out of all those things you do, tell me something that really makes you proud that maybe you haven't talked about a lot. Is there something you can think of?
Well, like as a surrounding, I don't know.
I don't know, any of from coaching to motivational speaking to the things you're doing in the classroom, or if I should rephrase it a little bit, what makes you proudest? Out of all those, what's the proudest thing that you're doing, that you have?
Definitely the proudest moment that I do have is when I do speak, and what happens after I speak. My Facebook blows up, my Twitter, Snapchat, everything blows up. I get direct messages from strangers that I've never even saw in a crowd, and stuff like that. And when you make an effect on people by just speaking words and they take it to heart, that is the greatest feeling ever. Like I said, after every event that I do, my Facebook, everything blows up. I blows up with messages. I reply to each and every single one of them, thanking them for taking their time out of their day to tell me that I did a good job. And that's what it all comes down to, see, honestly.
Can people follow you on Facebook? Is that okay if I throw a shout out?
Yeah, go ahead.
So you search for Ruben Ramirez, Ramirez, right? All right. And you can give him a follow on Facebook, and that'll be fantastic. So, I know you said your dream job is acting, so I hope this question isn't repetitive, but if I can wave that magic wand and say, where's Ruben 5 years from now, where are you?
Well, either gonna be at Iowa State University or Florida Gulf Coast University, finishing my bachelor's, and hopefully maybe have a couple acting jobs down in Florida, or maybe I don't know in Iowa possibly. But 5 years from now, I just want to be almost done with my education and be ready to start my career.
That'd be great. Guys, we're going to shift gears. I want to do a little performance. So here, again, I met Ruben in the communication class, and one of the things that stood out to me was his ability to be motivating. And I at that time, of course, I had no idea that he did all these other things or desired to do all these other things. And so I want to give you a chance to see it. So he's got, is it still 1 inch?
Yeah.
All right. So you may know this. This is a pretty famous speech performed by originally Al Pacino in the movie Any Given Sunday. It's the popular 1 inch speech. So we're going to shift gears a little bit, and you're going to get a little performance from Ruben. So he's going to go get set up. I'm going to turn the webcam over to him. And again, while he's getting set up for this, I hope you enjoy it. Once again, you've tuned into All in the Reflexes Live. This is episode 1. Give us a comment in terms of what movie do you think the name All in the Reflexes has come from, and you'll have a chance to win some prizes here. We certainly want to see you and encourage you to participate. So, Ruben, are you ready?
Yes.
All right, so I'm going to get up and change the camera. I'll let you know when we're set up and ready to go. So, looks good. Someone's knocking on the door. It's live TV, or live webcam, I guess. All right, Ruben, when you're ready.
I don't know what to say. 3 minutes to the biggest battle of our professional lives. All comes down to today. Either we heal now, or we're gonna crumble. Inch by inch, play by play, till we're finished. We're in hell right now, gentlemen. And we can stay here, get the shit kicked out of us, or we can fight our way back into the light. We can climb out of hell, inch by inch. Now, I can't do it for you. I'm too old. I look around this room and see all these young faces. I mean, I've made every wrong choice a middle-aged man can make. I pissed away all my money, believe it or not. I've chased off anyone who's ever loved me. And lately, I can't stand to see the face that I see in the mirror. You know, when you get old in life, things get taken from you. I mean, that's just part of life. But you only learn that when you start losing stuff. You find out life is a game of inches. So is football. Because in either game, life or football, the margin for error is so small. I mean, 1/2 a step too early or too late, you don't quite make it. 1/2 a second too slow, too fast, you don't quite catch it. The inches we need are everywhere around us. They're in every break in the game, every minute, every second. On this team, we fight for that inch. On this team, we tear ourselves and everyone around us to pieces for that inch. We claw with our fingernails for that inch. Because we know when we add up all those inches, that's going to make the fucking difference between winning and losing. Between living and dying. I'll tell you this. in any fight, it's the guy who's willing to die who will win that inch. Because I know if I'm going to have any life anymore, it's because I'm still willing to fight and die for that inch. Because that is what living is. The 6 inches in front of your face. Now I can't make you do it. You got to look into the guy next to you. Look into his eyes. Now, I think you're going to see a guy who will go that inch with you. I think you're going to see a guy who will sacrifice himself for this team because he knows when it comes down to it, you're going to do the same for him. That's a team, gentlemen. And either we heal now as a team, or we will die as individuals. That's football, guys. That's all it is. Now, what are you going to do?
All right, virtual round of applause going on out there. I have no doubt about it. That was wonderful. Let's get the camera turned back around. And when we grow one day, this little program, I'll get us a couple of cameras, a couple of whatnots as we. But that was wonderful. How's that? That's a little high. All right. But excellent job. From Any Given Sunday's 1 inch that was originally performed by Al Pacino. And one of the things that I like to do in my classes when I first heard Ruben do that is that if you're going to become a motivational speaker by any means, well, the first thing you try to do is copy the greats, right? And make it your own. And I think you did that just as well, if not better. Than the best actors.
You hear that, Al Pacino?
So that's right. And you'll notice we've got a comment out there. We have someone who has guessed our question correctly. So before we move on, Tryson Tucker, is that right?
Tryson Tucker.
Do you know, is that a friend?
Yeah, that's my buddy of mine.
That is awesome. Well, congratulations to you. You have won a prize. So that means I need to do one more before we're done here. And so I'm going to give you another question. You guys ready for one more question? Because it's going to lead into our next one. So you're going to have to be fast. Are you ready to comment? We're going to talk music in a moment. What I want to do in All in the Reflexes, and especially for those of you just tuning in, welcome to the first episode. We are a live webcam show, and we're going to do all sorts of things, from meaningful stuff to performances to pop culture to a silly game. We're getting to the pop culture part of our program, and we're going to talk Ruben's favorite musical artist. You have to guess who that is. Who is Ruben's favorite musician? If you guess correctly before we talk about it, you win another prize. At least try, and if no one guesses correctly by the time we talk about it, we'll pick one here at random. So you got to throw out there, who's Ruben's favorite musician?
You guys have to know this. Really, everyone who I invited is a friend of mine. I can see the billions of posters I have in my room. So
I guess we're asking who's been in Ruben's bedroom.
Pretty much. Oh, yeah, pretty much. Honestly, nobody.
All right. Let's talk a little bit about that speech. Why did you choose that? We'll give people a chance to guess here and see if they have a comment as to what your favorite musician is. And tell me about that speech. Why do you like the 1 inch speech?
Well, what I loved about it was a sports speech. And the real thing that really got me attracted to it was Al Pacino. The way that he can pull off acting is another why I'm inspired. He could be an Italian mobster one day, and then he could be a high school football coach the next second. So that's what I really got into it. The way he pulled off that speech was, I listened to that speech before every rugby game I played my high school seasons, and that really got me hyped up. And one day, I honestly wish that I could reenact it and made it a reality. And I honestly think I do a modest job, but I've gotten told that I've done pretty great and maybe even better than Al Pacino at times.
I love it. I can feel the energy. You should be sitting here right now. There's energy in this room. It's really awesome. We've got a guest, Celine Dion. I'm gonna guess Celine Dion is incorrect. Andrew, thank you for guessing that. That's
Andrew.
fantastic.
Bro, you got hit too hard at
I
rugby.
thought I saw Madonna, but that's
No,
Montana.
that's Montana 300. It ain't, bro. He's cool, but
there is the correct guess already on there. I'm just enjoying the Celine Dion comment.
oh,
right now.
she got it.
So Peyton, congratulations! You're going to be our other prize winner for the night. Guessing Tupac, and what we're going to do now is make that transition. I love this picture of you. I hope that you guys can see it too. I'm still learning the software that we're using here, but it's the great. I don't know. Tell me about that picture.
Oh, that one?
Yeah.
Oh, that was shout out to my boy Brady Slater. He nicely asked me to go to homecoming with him this year, and we went in that little nice Toyota Celica, R.I.P. the motor blue. But that was a great picture. No one knew I was gonna go to homecoming, and then when I posted that picture, the caption was, "If you don't know what I'm doing tonight, then you don't need to know about me." And after that, a picture blew up, and everyone when I saw it took hundreds of pictures, and it was great.
Yeah.
So shout out to also PCHS as well. You guys treat me like I'm famous. Honestly, I'm just a nice kid that was nice to people. So
very cool. So our pop culture talk here is about Tupac tonight. Tupac and hip hop and all those types of things. And I thought what we would throw out here is, if you're a guest on the show, and again, you can go to my website if you enjoyed tonight and you want to consider coming in and having a little conversation with me online here live. But one of the things I like to ask is, who's your favorite artist or movie or whatever, and talk about that. So tell me, why Tupac?
I see a lot of Tupac inside of me. When you see Tupac, you see the nose piercing, you see the tattoos, you see the bandana, and you just see him for what he dresses like. I feel like the media has made really ignorant remarks on Tupac because he is not only a rapper, but he's also an actor. He's also a political activist, and it's just he ranges from one of the greats. The way he thought, the way he made his music. Obviously, when you're bought into a label, they have a right to tell you, make a song about this, make a song about that. So I'm not saying Tupac didn't rap about real stuff all the time. Maybe he rapped about some hoes and drugs and whatnot at the same time. But at the same time, he honestly didn't let go of Tupac. A lot of artists tend to do that. A lot of artists get sold out to the media, and the industry buys them out, and they're not their artists anymore. They're that label. Tupac always kept to himself. He did a great job to keep to his personnel, for sure.
Yeah, you should see, and not to interrupt our talk here, but you're getting some nice comments. You can see, you gotta love you, Ruben. Ruben is the coolest dude I know. Thank you guys for making a comment. You're welcome to pose a question, type in a question, send us something, and we'll see it pop up here, and we'll address it, I promise. So let's get deep for a second. There's a lot of people who would say that hip hop music in general is a part of the cultural problem that exists, particular within ethnically diverse communities, that it's music that isn't celebrating life. It's music about drugs and violence, and it insults women in particular oftentimes. Was Tupac a part of that culture, or would you say that criticism is unfair, that it's not? Talk to me about your attitude on that.
I honestly believe it's very unfair because no one really gets into classic rock, and no one talks about their lyrics. But a couple of studies show that Bohemian Rhapsody was done while they were dropping acid.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I mean, it was a great song. Don't get me wrong, but there's a lot of classic rock that talks about drugs and hookers and hoes, just like in rap houses. The only reason the media targets rap, and I'm being honest with you, 100%, and that's what we're here about, right? The media likes to attack minorities. They don't really like to show us off as one of the greats in America, to be honest. And that's the media. I'm not saying people in general. People in general will battle that, but the media does attack blacks, Mexicans, Hispanics, Chinese, minorities, and that's the honest truth. And the majority in hip hop and rap are black and Hispanic, and I can admit there's a couple songs that are very relevant. I'm into a type of rap called drill music, and it's Chicago based. But at the same time, I realized 2 days ago, all of it's the same. Drill music talk about guns and shooting people, the type of guns they have, how many girls they've slept with in the past 3 days, stuff like that. And it honestly gets boring. So I switch that and I go to Frank Sinatra. I have a really wide variety of music I like. And so when they see that hip hop affects the reason why in cultural diverse communities, um, music never killed anybody, to be honest. Music never had a gun in its hand and say, go do this, boom. It all comes out with that own person's persona and mentality.
What do you think about it? And again, I'm just having a
Yeah.
little fun trying to challenge. I know we're kind of deep right now, but if a song comes out and says, so you said music has never killed anybody. If something comes out and says "F the police," that's kind of a theme that I've heard
Yeah.
before. And now we have a culture where, unfortunately, it seems like there is almost an anti. You have people who really attack the police. I'm not saying physically, although in some cases, but how do you respond to lyrics that might say things like that?
Well, at the same time, if you never really lived in a bad neighborhood, you can't really bash people that think opposite of police because, to be honest, when I lived in Joliet, I honestly disliked police just as much as NWA did because they targeted us. They stopped and frisked us for no reason. While my white friends got on with a pass with nothing going wrong with them, but when they look at me and my friends that are darker skinned, they attacked us. So I understood that aspect of it, and that's where a lot of communities don't understand. I live in Pekin, Illinois now, which is white. It's majority white, and you don't really go through that aspect. I mean, people complain about the police all the time. They're always gonna have. There's never gonna be where police is not complain about them. And to be honest, it's just different from us because we actually retaliate and we put it in through music. I've never said it's a good thing, but at the same time, we just like to put our voice out there more than Caucasians.
I guess certainly more, or at least art in general, whether it's writing, whether it's music, movies, that's certainly a good way to put your voice, anger, and frustration. And if you're listening to music that others might be offensive, maybe that's your release, maybe that's your creative outlet. I don't know. I don't know if I want to read this whole poem, but I knew we were going to talk about Tupac, and I always wanted to share this one with you. Did I ever share this with you? It's called "All Eyes on You" by Nikki Giovanni. If you guys ever get a chance, if you're Tupac fans, I would read this. It's in response to his death. Now, Nikki Giovanni is an African American poet I got to see read this live, and that's why it's always stuck with me. She read this at a college event when I was a college student back in the Ice Age, and it was just absolutely beautiful. And I'll read you a few, maybe just a quick section, and get your response to it. As I tossed and turned, unable to achieve sleep, unable to control anxiety, unable to comprehend why Tupac is not with us. If those who lived by the sword died by the sword, there would be no white men on earth. If those who lived on hatred died on hatred, there would be no KKK. If those who lived by lies died by lies, there would be nobody on Wall Street in executive suits and academic offices instructing the young. Don't tell me he got what he deserved. He deserved a chariot of grateful people. He deserved his life. It gets very deep in terms of it is not right that he had to die, and it seems very critical of the cultures, in fact, that may have opposed him. I don't know, but I worry. I guess if I were to send one last deep thing, is that I don't want there shouldn't be a cultural divide. We accept the differences that one another that we all have, and if certain music isn't for you, then don't listen to it. I don't know, but any other thoughts you want to share on that or Tupac or?
Yeah, I heard. I read that poem once before somewhere. I recall.
I might have sent it to you.
I don't know. I know it's familiar. But yeah, just like you said, if you don't like the music, don't listen to it. No need to actually bash on it to a point where it verbally hurts the family and everything as well. Yeah.
And I think it's healthy to have these conversations openly, when you come across different music that might be offensive or whatnot. And like you said, there are some things that are just very openly and intentionally degrading, and I don't think we should celebrate that. But in general,
Yeah, like for example, I dislike country music, and if a country artist were to die, I'm not gonna say well, it's because all that dip cans that he truly got mouth cancer from, or going into that as well.
Yeah, that'd be bad.
Yeah.
Right. Guys, again, if you're just tuning in, we're going to switch up. We're going to switch gears a little bit. This is All in the Reflexes, episode 1. We are live. I'm your host, Joe Chianakas. I'm an author and a professor at Illinois Central College. This is Ruben Ramirez, one of my former students. I guess you're going to have me in class again here. One more time, before we're done. And anyway, he has ambitions of acting, and after that conversation, it's really interesting. He's going into criminal justice, and I think it's really important. I think that we have individuals who understand, the neighborhoods, the culture, and the climate of all sorts of individuals from different neighborhoods and backgrounds. That's really cool. But what I want to do on this show, all in Reflexes, several of you have guessed it right. Thank you for, a couple of you. And you said things like, I asked you where it's from. You said Big Trouble in Little China. You got that one right. Very good. And part of the whole idea was that all in the Reflexes means we're going to bounce back and forth a little bit. We're going to be spontaneous. We're going to be live. We're not rehearsed. We don't rehearse. Who's got time to rehearse? Yeah, shout out.
Okay, hey, thanks to Courtney, Tristan, the other Tristan, Carrie, Bethany, and Kayla. And Kim.
We might have a few others.
Yeah.
So we got a lot of comments. Thank you guys for commenting.
Peyton.
Yeah. So it started up, all the way back.
Guys, I appreciate all you guys for tuning in. I really appreciate this. Hopefully this is not the last time you see me through a screen. And I do it for you guys because I love you guys. You guys are great friends to me, and you guys will drive me.
Absolutely. And what I want to do here is this show is going to be on the second and fourth Wednesday of every month at 6 p.m. live. And I've got guests lined up for January and February and into March. If you'd like to be on here with me, we'll talk about anything. I think this is a cool chance. I want to shout out to other people and just have some fun doing it. It's game time, all right? So what we want to do is, because this is live, and this is probably the scariest part of the show for me right now as I'm thinking about this, because this is going to be, this could be really bad in a great way, or I have no idea. So stick around. But I always want to end, if you're a guest, we're going to have a little bit of fun and be a little silly too. So I'm stealing this idea from Whose Line Is It Anyway? And this is going to be a game of questions. Ruben and I are going to start off with a scenario, and we can only talk in questions. So if one of us freezes or says a statement, I don't know, we'll have to be the judge of one another, then you lose. And we have an extra special guest here today who's going to jump on and be kind of a third counterpart. So if I freeze or don't come up with a question, then our guest here, Kayla Fass, is going to jump in. Kayla and Ruben were actually in the same communication public speaking class with me, and we did a lot of cool things and a lot of speaking events out there, so it's been really exciting. But anyway, and the scenarios, here's how we're going to guess the scenarios, all right? I grabbed a bag full of movies because All in the Reflexes comes from a movie called Big Trouble in Little China, and we talked a little about pop culture. I thought, well, I'm just going to grab a bag full of movies. We're going to pick one randomly, and we have to talk about that movie or pretend that we're in that movie or something related to that movie, but we can only do so in questions. Are you ready for this?
I'm not ready, but
All right, so I'm going to pick the first one, all right? And we'll go from there. The movie is Ghostbusters. We can only talk about Ghostbusters. Who are you going to call?
Are you going to call Ghostbusters?
What do you think about this all-female cast in the reboot?
Are you sure they're all female?
I haven't checked, but all right. So there, I just lost. Kayla's going to jump in. All right. Your movie choice is Jurassic World. Go.
You think dinosaurs are real?
Did dinosaurs really die?
Have you ever seen a dinosaur?
Are you a dinosaur?
Am I a dinosaur?
Am I a dinosaur?
All right. I think repeating question, Buzz. All right, you're out. You're out. I'm going to take your spot. So again, All in the Reflexes, sort of the title coming from this communicating back and forth very quickly. I know I have an advantage because they're my movies,
Yeah.
but other than that, who knows what we're going to say. All right, the next one. Field of Dreams. Do you like corn?
Corn on the cob?
Is baseball the best sport ever, better than rugby?
No.
Do they all wear blue jeans?
Do you believe in ghosts?
Are ghosts real?
Ghosts are in this movie. See, that's all I got. So, all right, here we go. I should have picked a game I was looking better at. All right, here we go. The Day After Tomorrow is your
Did
next
you
ghost.
die?
Is it cold outside?
Was it the day after tomorrow, which would have happened after the day after tomorrow?
Did you see the American flag freeze?
Did you see the Lady of Liberty freeze?
All right, very good, very good. I'm a horror movie fan. That, for a second, it sounded like I'm a whore. I bought it live, can't it? All right, here we go. Freddy versus Jason. Are you
Freddy?
Do you bleed?
Do you like to kill people?
Would you like to see what your insides look like?
Do you want me to cut you up so bad that you didn't wish I didn't cut you up so bad?
Would you like to brush your teeth and have the toothbrush come out your other side?
Do you want me to pull your glasses off of your head and cut you with the edge of the brace?
Let's see how much blood you have. Is not a question. All right. That was fun. That was morbid. All right. Let's do a few more. A few more. All right. Kill Bill.
Did you kill Bill?
Did I?
I eliminated.
I think you're done in one question. All right. No repeating the question. Furious 7.
Do you like to ride a Toyota, dude?
Want to race on the way out?
Do you want to go to Tokyo and race and drift?
What is drifting anyway?
Do you want me to show you? In my Toyota Essa.
Vin Diesel or Paul Walker?
Do you like Ludacris or are you Ludacris?
I'm really struggling on this one. Rap, Luda, I got it. I got nothing. All right. 4. All right. E.T.
E.T. phone home?
Good question.
E.T. phone home? E.T. Did E.T. phone home? E.T. phone home.
What does ET stand for?
Do you like the way E.T. looks like, or do you discriminate him for what he is?
Do you like Reese's Pieces?
Do you prefer Skittles over Reese's Pieces? I'm out.
I'm exhausted. All right, a couple. We'll do. How about we do 2 more? 2 more, and then we're going to wrap things up, guys. We appreciate you tuning in and having some fun with us on our first episode. Here we go. Charlie's Angels.
What is that?
Would you like to see my kung fu?
Do they ride motorcycles?
Who's your favorite angel? I won one, guys. That's pretty exciting.
Oh, wow.
All right, the last one is because Ruben tells me. All right, no, you want to veto the Evil Dead?
Yeah, pizza.
I don't know how I can have you on the first guest.
I
If you're not into the scary.
They scare me.
I guess Halloween's vetoed. See, this is a good way to speed up if he doesn't want to do scary movies. Horrible Bosses. Horrible Bosses.
Did you print the fax you print the paper out of the fax machine?
How do you picture your boss dying?
Do you know how to tie a tie?
Do you want to be buried alive or drown?
Hey, do you want to work on Saturday for Mindy?
How much would you pay me not to chop your head off right now in this second?
Do you take cash or credit?
Are you a dinosaur?
Do you like to get eaten on tacos? And
Have you killed Bill? I had to go back to an old one. We did our best. We did our best. I've got a different game plan for you the next episode, but kind of similar in terms of it's going to require a little spontaneity, a little silliness, and who knows what might happen out of that. So guys, that was all in the Reflexes. I'm going to wrap up here in just a second, but I want to do a couple of final thoughts if you'll bear with me. I think what's really important is that we take time to, I know you're at your computer screens, you're on your phones right now listening, and I appreciate it if you are, but it's important to take time, of course, to get to know one another, and what I want to do here is take the time to get to know some really ambitious, creative, passionate people in our community and beyond, and talk to them a little bit about it. So this is our first episode, and we're going to give away a couple of prizes. I'll comment. I need whoever guessed Tupac and the very first person, Tristan, who guessed Big Trouble in Little China, get on Facebook or something, get me your email addresses. We're going to get you some prizes, okay? And I'll get that out to you. But again, our final thoughts on the show. This is something that I've always kind of wanted to do, but just kind of needed a push, to get out there. And I really thank you for tuning in, especially for Ruben here, 20 years old and already has quite a resume. And I think it'll be really exciting to see where he is in 5 or 10 years. And I think that's what's going to be really cool. So I'm going to definitely invite him back to be a part of a future episode here before the semester's over. I'd like to bring back a handful of people who gave this a shot and participated in it. So before you leave me, A couple things here coming up. So our next episode is in 2 weeks from tonight. Again, we're going to be in the second and the fourth episode. My special guests that night are the band members who make up a local pop punk band called Terribly Happy. Logan, James, Kyle. We're gonna have all three of them crazy dudes here. You can see them on their picture right now. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Again, you can apply to be a guest if you'd like to be on this little program with me. I have a form on my website, joechianakas.com. I know my last name's a pain in the butt. You try living with it for 30 some years. So I made up another website that kind of goes along with the horror novel that I wrote that Ruben loves a lot. It's called frightfest4d.com. No comment, all right? Frightfest4d.com will also take you to Joe Chianakas, all right? But you can apply there or just message me. Message me online, message me on Facebook. My page is facebook.com/that crazy last name, Chianakas. But if you find that out, like and share the pages, subscribe. Yeah, go ahead.
If my mother is watching, I love you, Mom. You're my mama. I'm a mama's boy. I'm proud to say I'm a mama's boy. To all my friends watching, I appreciate
Live TV. We're doing some
if I
maintenance.
die,
We got
tell
some
my
good
mom I love
timing.
her.
Hey,
Anyways,
I wanted to give a shout out too. We're not on the air next week because I'm only doing this the second and fourth Monday, but second and fourth Wednesday, excuse me. But next Wednesday, 6 p.m. There's a wonderful bookstore downtown Peoria on Sheridan, Maine. It's called Lit on Fire Used Books. They do a special event that starts at 6, same time as this program. Next Wednesday is going to be Get Lit with author John Phillips. He's a local author that I had the pleasure of meeting a couple of months ago. And if you follow me on my Facebook page, I'm going to do a shout out to that event too. So I hope that you'll check that out. It's a chance for you to see performances like Ruben's, if you are a writer and you have poetry or music or something you'd like to share, it's set up as an open mic night. And after you get to share for you listen to one another for a couple hours, and the featured author John Phillips will come on and talk to you about his writing. It's a really cool event at Lit on Fire Used Books. That's next Wednesday. I'll see you back here 2 weeks for our next episode, episode 2 with Terribly Happy. I'm looking forward to it. Thanks for tuning in. Please give the pages a like and a share. And I better shut it down before the office implodes. Thanks, guys. Thank you, Ruben. See ya. Well, the humorous thing is I think I know how to stop. Hold on.